This is Dr. Anastasia Chopelas, the scientific healer, and today I'm going to talk about healing with minerals. And I've been involved in this topic basically since I was about 7 or 8 years old. And when I went to college, I studied vibrations of minerals, and then I turned it into a career. And when I told some esoteric or healer folks that that's what I did, they were really, really surprised because they didn't know that there was really a science. And I have 50 publications and book chapters on this very topic that have been published from about 1982 all the way until about 2009. So what I learned during that time, and about halfway through that journey, I started healing, started with energy healing, and about halfway through, I met a bunch of people that were telling me that crystals do a lot of healing. So I started thinking about what I learned in the laboratory with the vibrations and how they support people, and I actually feel them. So I didn't know it until I started putting all the pieces of my life together. When I was 7, I got very interested. I was in the 2nd grade. I got very interested in pretty crystals and minerals. And I think all little kids, you may even be the same. All little kids run around and pick up rocks and put them in their pockets. And my grandson was doing that at the beach or at the park. Every time he finds a stone, he'd like stick it in his pocket and keep it. And when my children were little, I used to bring them home crystals from these geology mineral shows because I was in geophysics, and they always came with all of these minerals where you could buy like really beautiful necklaces made out of malachite or lapis, for example, and I'll talk about what they do for you. And so I would bring them home little crystals, and they were always having them right around their bed, even when they were like 3, 5 years old. So really common minerals are very, very, very helpful. One of the most common minerals that you'll find, especially in the quartz family. So quartz has a huge number of things. Agate, blue agate, which is the only precious quartz, citrine, amethyst, rose quartz, smoky quartz. They are all worn as gems because they're semi-hard. They're not completely hard. They have a hardness of 6 and something, close to 7 out of a scale of 10. And so I have all kinds of minerals everywhere, and I sit here near it. But what amethyst does, especially if you have like nice raw crystals like this, is you can, this is a little too heavy to do it with. I have smaller pieces around the house, but you can clean up your energy field or aura or somebody else's. It's very, very healing. It straightens all the lines out. I do it with my hands. I'm very practiced at this, but you can use a quartz or an amethyst like this. And the thing that makes amethyst purple is that there are iron impurities in it, and it's been exposed to radiation. And the deeper the purple, the more radiation it's been exposed to. And this is quite a nice piece, right? And what you don't want to do is you don't want to expose the amethyst to sunlight. Like don't go to sleep in the sun or go get a tan with your amethyst jewelry on, because it'll fade the purple out. So that's just a little warning, but that's one use for amethyst. And amethyst has a relatively low vibrations, but it is they're grouped all together, and it's the purple in there that makes all the difference. And I could tell by picking up something like rose quartz, which has a completely different energy. Even though the basic material is the same, it has a completely different energy. So rose quartz is really soft. It's a much softer feel than amethyst. And a lot of people put big chunks of rose quartz around their monitors, especially when we had the old CRT monitors, which had a lot more radiation than the liquid crystal display monitors, or the ones that just have little lights at pixels, rather than having all that radiation come from you. And what it does is it protects you from radiation. And another one that's really helpful is, this is called Selenite. It forms in long crystals, and you can tell by looking at it, it's kind of like got a sparkly look, kind of like moonstone, but it's just lots of long little crystals, and you can buy these rods for very inexpensively, and they're really good for cutting cords off of you. So I do this, I have this on my nightstand, and I do this every day when I get up. I just cut all the cords off, so everything that you accumulate at night, you get them, and then at night I also cut the cords off that I've accumulated during the day. This is like weeding your garden. You have to attend to that kind of energy thing. So there's the three things, is rose quartz, amethyst, and selenite. So how does this relate to vibrations? Well, let's look at, this is a clear material. It's clear. Everything in the mineral family, with very few exceptions. For example, there are some materials that contain trivalent chromium, chromium with 3 electrons missing, and they are naturally green. But almost everything else is clear in its pure state. And if you think about the vibrations, or if you imagine the vibrations in materials, most materials vibrate, well, I'm just going to use an arbitrary scale that relates to energy that we use all the time, vibrate between 200 and 1200, what we call wave numbers. It's just it's a form of energy. It's a very small amount of energy, but it vibrates there. The only material that comes above that that's clear and pure is diamond. So diamonds are for clarity. When you're looking for clarity in your life, wear a diamond. It can be very, very small. You can get them relatively inexpensively. Even the little 5-pointers, if you have a bunch of little 5-pointers, which is a 1/20th of a carat, very small, you can wear diamonds. And I just happened, this is my mom's, after she died, my sister and I took her she had 2 diamond rings that she had, and this has 5 little diamonds, and it was for their 50th anniversary, and my sister has one that's got 1 big diamond in it. That was her engagement ring. They're all real diamonds, and they give me clarity, so I wear diamonds all the time. And that's because they have the highest vibration of any of them. And it's a single vibration at 1306-ish. So it vibrates much higher than all of the other minerals that are clear, with the exception of water. And of course, when you freeze water, it turns to ice. It vibrates at 3000, but we can't wear those, right? We are those. We are made of water, where all the cross-linking contains a lot of information. And the other one is a carbonate, which is, we are also made out of carbon, and we have a lot of carbonate, especially our bones in our body. But these are the only minerals that we can really wear that are not too soft, that have a very high vibration. So let me give you a couple of other tips. One is rutilated quartz. So rutilated quartz is quartz with a rutile. So quartz is SiO2 and rutile is TiO2, titanium dioxide, as opposed to silicon dioxide. And when you get rutilated quartz, it's a very powerful protectant. So when you are feeling that you have a lot of people around you that are sending you lots of hooks and trying to glom onto your energy, putting a rutilated quartz in your pocket will help you get protected from it. So I gave you 3 things: one for protection of radiation, rose quartz; one for cleaning up your aura with amethyst; and one for cutting cords, which is the selenite; and then the last was rutilated quartz. So those are the 4 things. So how do you know what mineral to pick? So when I go to a store and I go, you can go to these stores that sell little samples for $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever. You'll go in a store and you'll find that you are attracted to one kind of mineral. Your subconscious really, really knows what to use. And so minerals have, because of their structure, they carry information. And my daughter, who's a clairvoyant, said that when she looks at them, she can see lines of energy going into other dimensions. So they're moving into other dimensions, and I think that that actually is not going this way. I think it's coming from the other dimension to form this material and to carry that information. So when you wear a mineral, for example, if I were to wear this belonged to my grandmother. She got it in Egypt, and it has like some sort of elephant at the end. But it has my grandmother's energy in it because she wore it often. I used to see her wearing it. And it can carry the information of the person that wore it. So, for example, my mother's ring, when I first put it on, I felt her energy on it. So when you get a mineral, and when you're attracted to one, first of all, it lost a little bit of track, you see things that you are attracted to. So when you pick one out, it's something that you have an affinity to. And that's usually the thing you need. When I picked my pendulum, which is made out of quartz, I picked it by picking each one up. And the one that I was to take home was the one that spoke to me and said, "Take me home." It's like, oh, I want this one. I didn't want any of the others. This is the one I wanted. So that's how you pick it. As soon as you take it home, you want to cleanse it of all the old energy. I keep my grandmother's energy around on purpose. I have other things of hers that I have cleansed. And I've cleansed my mom's ring so I can wear it without having my mom's energy inside me. As much as I like it, it is not me. So the way you cleanse them is you can either put them in a bowl of salt water, and many things you shouldn't do that to, or you can put them in a bowl of just plain salt crystals like sea salt. You just bury them in salt, and you can put the salt bowl by a windowsill where it gets diffuse sunlight. And you can leave that in there for a day and take it out and brush it off, clean it off. And it will have removed all of the old energy and will now be activated and ready for your use to wear. So that would be really, really helpful to be able to have something support you in your healing journey, right? Support you in your healing journey so you don't have to do the work, right? And I like crystals, especially. I have them all around me. I've got a roll top desk with a big giant piece of petrified wood that I found out in the wild. I have other minerals. Many of them I found myself, so I'm the first owner of them. And I also have some purchased, like this big amethyst that I showed you. So all the ones that you purchase, you need to cleanse. So when you take them home, you cleanse them. I wash most of mine in the sink, wash them first, like the ones that can be washed. Some of them you shouldn't, in salt water. And some you shouldn't are opals. You need to be really careful with opals because the way that opals get their sparkle is that there's included water in there, and you don't want to mess those up. And amber, which is actually not a real mineral, but it is a resin that has been hardened. And there are a few others that you shouldn't do that with. So that way they can be yours and support you. And I really love the support that you get from minerals. All my jewelry is made out of stone. And when I feel the need to be supported, for example, malachite is very, very strong. It can be too strong for most people, and it helps shift you. So if you're not ready to be shifted drastically and massively, it's best to not to put that on. I wore this for a while, right, almost every day, right at the beginning of my full transition into becoming awakened. And another one that's really helpful is to open up your throat, because blue connects with throat, and it helps open up your throat and speak the truth. So I wore these two quite often. And that's based on their colors, right? So the malachite is derived from copper, and I don't remember what the lapis, this is lapis lazuli, I don't remember what that's from, but it is a relatively soft material, and you have to be careful with it. So first thing is choose by what you have affinity to. Some of them, you know, we do things with, like cutting cords, and then take them home. If you're buying them, take them home and cleanse them so they can be nice and clean, and that helps activate them. That's just right for you. Once you remove all the foreign energy, you have activated it. You can activate very many of them by just taking them into the sun, except for amethyst. It will cause that beautiful purple to fade. And then the last thing is that you can slip them in your pocket. Some women put them in their bra cups and wear them for your protection. And many of them come in nice shapes, like you can get heart-shaped ones. I bought a heart-shaped one from a friend of mine who goes to the mineral shows and brings home really special pieces. She brought me a banded iron, a heart, and I gave that to my husband because it supports his heart. So that it's because it's this deep red color. So there are many ways to support yourself. You can use essential oils, herbs, you know, superfoods. Superfoods meaning there's like a really power-packed nutrition in them, and minerals. So and the one of them, of course, is halite, or regular salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt, and salt supports by removing the poopy energy. So that's all I have for today. I just wanted to let you know that we have open enrollment for the certification program. The first certification period is now completed, and I have new students that are raring to go with helping you or others get well and healed from emotions, relationships, clearing up energy, you know, clearing up your energy fields, and also trauma healing. So they have learned all of this, and they have all done practices on other people and have been successful at really clearing things up. And you can be one of those too. You can find out more by going to scientifichealer.com/energize me. It outlines the program. Right now we are going to go diving deep into DNA, past life, energetic patterns, patterns that you think you're born with, but you don't, but we can rewrite them via an energetic epigenetic program, and clearing up old past lives. And then we're going to talk about the spiritual world and how we are connected to it, and how you can be protected from low energy beings that are trying to steal your energy. And so when you're ready to have that conversation with me, or if you want support for your healing, whatever that might be, connect with me at scientifichealer.com/appointment. I look forward to speaking with you. If you like this video, hit the like button below or give it a 5-star rating, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.